Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a paper orchid. All the materials and templates are linked below the video. The template is also available for those that don't have a cutting machine and want to hand cut. First, you'll have to print the pattern front and back. The template will have the print for both hand cutting and cutting machine. If you are using the Cricut or Silhouette, you will need to use the print and cut option. The hand cut version is a very easy pattern, so you could follow along the lines. I like to cut a little inside to make sure I'm getting all of the pattern front and back. For the Cricut machine, make sure you print the front and use the mirror option to print the back. I do have directions for this on the file. And also add the bleed option so it will give you more room for it to cut. Sometimes it doesn't perfectly meet up with the back, so make sure you do some test prints on scratch paper. It was accurate enough for me, but if you do run into problems, you will have to use the offset option on the top, and that will cut even more inside into the pattern to make sure you are catching both front and back of the pattern. You could also use this pattern without printing and paint your own or make white orchids. I have the page set up for 5 orchids for each orchid plant, but you could also make more or less. Once you have everything cut out, you will need to shape each petal with the shaping tool. I will link this below. You could also use a spoon to help shape this onto a foam mat or pillow. I am shaping the 2 big pieces while setting the small piece, which is the center piece, on the side. The small pieces will be curled in on each side. I just do all of them at once, but you can do one at a time if it's easier. Then poke a hole on all the pieces that has 3 petals. Then I take only 3 sets and curl the tips out on each petal and leaving the other 2 sets just curled in. Once you have all the petals shaped, cut 5 wired pieces. This is 22 gauge wire. I will be curling the tips and making the curled tip perpendicular to the rest of the stem by pulling it sideways. This curled tip will be anchoring onto the petals. Once you have the wired pieces ready, take each piece and poke it through the 3 petal piece. Add a little bit of glue on the curled wire and let the wire anchor onto the 3 petal flower. Then add glue on the bottom of the 2 petal flower and add the piece onto the center covering the wire. Then get the small centerpiece and add glue on the bottom and glue on the center, making sure the longest side is sticking out of the bottom where the gap is. You can check images of real orchids or images of my final paper orchid to see how the pieces are facing. Go ahead and repeat this for the rest of the sets. You'll need 5 orchids. The center pieces don't have to match to each other, but you want to make sure the petals are matched to each other because I did make them slightly different shades to have a variety of them. You can floral tape each one about the length of halfway of your index finger. I like to floral tape somewhere below the flower and then pull it up as close to the flower. Floral tape can be tricky, so you want to make sure you are stretching and pressing at the same time to activate the stickiness. Then grab 2 more wire pieces and any colored tissue paper. Grab a piece of tissue paper the size of your hand and crumble it into a ball. Then glue the tissue ball onto the wire. Then floral tape starting from the bottom of the ball to the top and covering up the white tissue paper as best as you can. I floral tape a little below the tissue paper as well. Then floral tape a single wire starting a little below the tip and covering up one side of the tip of the wire. You'll need to make 2 of the tissue ball piece and 1 floral taped wire. These are optional, but I always like adding these little buds onto the orchids. Then cut 3 wire pieces and grab green cardstock paper. I do have a template for this for your machine to cut it, but I like to freehand cut these leaves. Once you have those leaves cut out, glue the center of one of the leaves and add a wire about halfway in and quickly glue around the leaf and sandwich the other matching pair on top and quickly shape the leaf by slightly curling it out. This is a quick process because you want to do this before the glue is fully dried. Now bring all your pieces together. Start with 1 bud and floral tape the single stem. Then floral tape the second bud below. These are fairly close to each other, but I'm trying to have a little less than an inch in between each piece. Then add the orchid flower that wasn't shaped out, the piece that was only curled in. You should have 2 of those flowers. I like to add those to the top of the orchid, and the last 3 flowers that have the petals shaped out that I feel are more bloomed looking should go after. On the 4th flower, I like to add a thicker wire stem. It doesn't have to be this brown one, but I will be linking this below. I add the thicker one so the stem looks bigger. Try to make it look discreet and add the 5th flower. Then floral tape the rest of the stem, leaving about an inch below. Then add the leaves much lower down the stem and cut any excess wire and floral tape the rest. Then I add some moss or styrofoam into a pot and add my paper orchid. I love making these orchids as gifts and perfect for people that can't keep their orchids alive. Try making them yourself. Please like this video below and subscribe. Thank you for watching.